Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of DeLorean Tech, and this is our top 10 problems with the 1/6 scale Hot Toys DeLorean Mark II from Back to the Future Part 2. So we just did an unboxing video. Go ahead and check that out when you get a chance. This video is really just to highlight the issues with the 1/6 scale DeLorean. Hopefully this helps you out. So I'll be pointing out the top 10 issues with this, at least the issues that I had with the one I purchased. These issues may or may not apply to the one you get, but this is something that I think you need to know about before you invest your $825. It actually comes out to over $900 for this, which is about $200–300 more than the Mark I when that first came out. I'll start off by saying that I really do like this model, but I do have to admit there are some issues with it, and we're going to go ahead and get into those right now. Alright, so issue number 1. So I think overall it's really awesome, but it is really too much like the Mark I. Okay, there's a few differences. Obviously the fact that you can turn it into hover mode, I mean that was the whole purpose behind this, but I feel like overall, in putting it together and taking a look at what we have on the inside, it is very much a duplicate of the Mark I with a hover mode and some additional LED lighting, and that's basically the gist of it. They've, modified a few things here and there, but I thought they could have done a better job at getting this different enough to where it is in fact a completely different model, but it really is a copy and paste of the Mark I with the hover mode conversion. So that's kind of my first gripe. I was really hoping for something that I could say, wow, this is actually not the same model. It really is the same model, but with the hover mode, capability and some additional LED lighting. Issue number 2. One of the items that I noticed was that the LEDs here in the wheels are not really bright enough, okay? In fact, and you've got the bleed through going on here. I don't consider that an issue, but there's sort of an inconsistency here, at least on mine. This is not quite as bright as the front wheel. So the rear wheel isn't quite as bright as the front wheel, at least the bleed through here from behind the wheels. So I thought that was kind of an issue. When you turn off the lights, obviously it looks a lot better, but I thought they could have done a better job getting the LEDs in the wheels a bit brighter. Okay, maybe there's a solution coming for that from some of the customizers out there. I know Denobi talked quite a bit about that, but that was kind of a disappointment for me. I think it could have been more consistent, at least the amount of lighting coming through these. So issue number 3 for me is the stand. Okay, the stand, it is what it is. It's plastic. It just feels a little cheap and it's not super sturdy. One thing that I noticed is that when I did try to relocate this, the legs came off the stand. So it's very awkward. I think that they could have done a better job with the stand, at least making sure that these don't actually come out, these legs here, when you're moving this thing around. And hopefully you won't have to move it around too much, but that does affect sort of the if you were to relocate this thing from one place to another, it could have been a little bit better there. Overall, I think the stand is suitable. I worry about maybe this thing collapsing at some point in time. So maybe somebody else will make a more improved stand. We'll see what happens. Gripe number 4 was that some of the parts were not very easy to put on. For example, the front flex band. I actually messed around with that for quite a bit. I don't remember having the same problem in putting together the Mark I. So there's definitely some quality control issues here. It was not very easy to get this in there. I had done it with the Mark I, so I do remember how it was supposed to be done, but I felt like this was a little bit more challenging this time around. So for you who do not have the Mark I, and this is going to be a new experience for you, be very careful. Take a look at my unboxing video on how I actually installed this. Otherwise, you're probably going to break it. Everything else installed okay. There were some issues installing the side flux bands, these rear flux bands here. But for the most part, it wasn't too bad. I think the easiest install was Mr. Fusion here. And, Mr. Fusion is obviously a very cool piece here. So issue number 5 was that, at least on my model, this rear tire, this whole wheel assembly was very difficult to push up inside So you can kind of see the issue I'm having here. You actually kind of have to force it in. So that was an issue I had. Now I can kind of overlook that, but you know, and again, this kind of goes with the quality control issues. It was rubbing on the inside fender well here, so I had to kind of force that in. That was not the case with any of the other wheels and tires here. They all seem to fold in underneath just fine without any forcing going on there. So that brings me to issue number 6, and this was kind of a big issue for me when I did my unboxing video. So the tires are covered in some sort of speckled paint or something. I don't know if that is a defect or if that is supposed to be you know, normal to the car, if that was part of the plan. It doesn't seem right to me. It definitely was not like that with the Mark 1. Of course, maybe they've tried to sort of differentiate the Mark 2 and the Mark 1 by doing that. Let me know down in the comments if your Mark 2 DeLorean had this sort of odd speckled paint thing going on. You can kind of see it right there. See that? And if you look at that, it is all over the tire, on the top, on the back sides of the tire, on the sidewalls here. I don't know what that is. You know, and I pointed that out in my unboxing video, and it just kind of took me as a defect, you know, a manufacturing or paint defect or something, right? So that gets me to issue number 7, which is the same issue here on the underbody. And you can see that there's like a blotchy bunch of paint stuff. It almost looks like dust that is on the entire underbody. Now, is that is that supposed to be like that, or is this a problem? Is this a paint problem? Let me know down in the comments. It doesn't look good to me, right? It just does not look good to me. You know, and you can kind of tell against this rear tire here that it's the same sort of paint. Now they just kind of sprayed it on the underside of the body here. I can't tell if they painted it over the LEDs as well or what happened there, but if this was a defect, let me know down in the comments. So issue number 8, the wheels, when the car is in regular time machine mode here, the wheels on the driver's side, they actually stick out further than the wheels on the passenger side. Just a little bit, but it was very noticeable to me. So these are more inset inside when you push them all the way in, and I made sure that they were all the way in, right, on both sides here. But I did notice that the driver's side wheels and tires stick out further than the passenger side wheels and tires. So you can kind of see it right here. Here's the driver's side, and then over here on the passenger side, you can see that they're a little bit further on the inside. That's not huge because you can actually change the track width on these tires and these wheels and tires here, but that just kind of points to you know, an issue, maybe a quality control issue that needs to be addressed. So you can see it, I think, more noticeably here in the back. That tire is further in on the passenger side than it is on the driver's side. So you can definitely see that. So again, it is what it is. Definitely quality control issue. I think that it can be corrected if you were to display this in sort of car mode, driving mode. You could probably bring those out a little bit. I'm going to display this in flight mode, so that's not really a major concern of mine. And again, I don't know that you'll have the same issue with your model that I'm having with mine. So keep that in mind. Issue number 9 that I had was that the shipping box itself is the box. So that is the opposite of what we had with the Mark 1. The Mark 1 had a shipping box. It was just a plain shipping box, but it had an actual box for the model. This one, it doesn't. It really, you take it out and you'll see in my unboxing video, it's just this big styrofoam thing with sort of a reduction in the box to basically this sort of, this kind of poster cardboardy thing that they've kind of inserted on there. So the box has been reduced to this. So that's kind of a gripe. What if I wanted to display the boxes together? You could do it, but it's not the same thing. So that's definitely a complaint that I had. Gripe number 10, has to do with the instructions. They're okay, but they could have been a little bit more detailed as far as how to install, for example, the front flux band. They really just say, you know, attach it, right? The issues that I had were fitment. So again, I don't know if that's a quality control issue or not. I think they could have done a better job explaining how to mount this on the stand. I think the lack of detail here, it's really just a sheet behind a poster that they included. I was okay putting it all together because I had already put together the Mark 1. So a lot of this was like that, with the exception of the stand and the exception of the instructions on how to put this into flight mode. But I think the instructions could have been a lot better. You know, it's probably not too big of a deal, but for you first timers out there who do not have the Mark 1, this might be a little sort of lacking. So definitely look at our unboxing, review, and assembly video to kind of get an idea of what you should have done versus what's on these instructions here. All right, everybody, that's the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments about this, or if you think I was off on some of these gripes, let me know down in the comments. I really want to know, for example, what's going on with these tires here. Is that supposed to be the way they're supposed to look? I haven't watched any other unboxing review videos yet. I wanted to kind of come into mine completely unbiased, uninformed, and just give you exactly my reaction as it was when I was unboxing this. And I have not watched any of the Adam Savage or the I think it's Rick reviews. I haven't watched anything, so I don't know if their tires are you know, normal compared to the tires that I have with the paint stuff going on there. So let me know down in the comments. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. I know this is kind of an expensive piece. I did feel like I had to point out some of these issues here, because if you're going to drop $900 plus on this thing, you need to be aware of what you're getting yourselves into. That said, do I love this thing? I do. It's really awesome. I plan on displaying it with the Mark 1 here. I'm going to be doing a side-by-side video comparing the Mark II and the Mark 1, and that should be coming out any day now. So stay tuned for that, and once again, thanks for watching.